Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Mind Your Soul. And today we are talking with Asger about the science of human connection, how to build trust, influence, and have confidence in any room. So, welcome, Asger. Will you please introduce yourself to the listeners?
Yeah, hi Farah, and welcome to all of you listeners. Yeah, my name is Asger Lindholt, and as you just talked a little bit about, what I do is I help experts shine on stage, shine on camera, kind of like we're doing today. And I
Mm-hmm.
want to bring the science into public speaking and leadership. So it's not just fluff, but real, actionable, concrete things we can do. Yeah.
Amazing. So, where to start? Like, how do you, when you start working with people, what is it that you first focus on to begin with?
Yeah.
Because
Well,
everybody wants to be confident and speaking, but where to begin with this?
Yeah, well, we can dive right into confidence, which is obviously a huge topic for
Mm-hmm.
most of us. So
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to dive into where do our insecurities come from? I mean, we
Mm-hmm.
all have some baggage with us, no matter if we had the best childhood ever or maybe a little bit of a tough upbringing. We all have some insecurities. And I think step one is really to discover, was it that
Mm-hmm.
teacher that said something? Was it a parent that maybe not on purpose said something or did something? So, really discovering those things. And what I've experienced is most things that are rooted in childhood.
Mm-hmm.
So if we go back, and investigate what happened the first 10 years, there's often a pretty good answer. So I think getting to know the why, and then
Mm-hmm.
as adults, we can work on how can we improve that and work with that. So I'd say step one is really discover the reason. Step two, work on it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so many people, even when they go back in time, like with my experience in my coaching practice, they still struggle with the why. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like difficult to talk about.
Mm,
Sometimes there's like a trauma involved, there's a blockage, and
mm.
they really don't know. So, what do you do in that situation where they're like blocked up? What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, it is a tough challenge because thinking
Yeah,
about what blocked you when you were 5 years old or 6 years old,
exactly.
we might not even remember, but our
Mm-hmm.
bodies still remember. But I
Yeah.
think the more time we spend working on these things, discovering these things, they will kind of come out slowly. I
Mm-hmm.
remember when I started a coaching program called NLP, over time discovered a lot of different things. And I remember when I started doing speaking, I thought my why was to get up on stage and help people. Sure, that
Mm-hmm.
was kind of a little bit the reason, but I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know at that time I was craving the love and attention from my father because he had a little bit
Mm,
of a challenge to say, Oscar, amazing job. He's always
mm,
being pushing me a little bit to do harder, to do better. So when I discovered that, everything changed because I didn't connect on a deeper level with the audience. So I had to reframe it and
mm.
say, you can deal with your shit, Oscar, off stage, and then you
Mhm.
have to be on stage to help your audience. Sure, it's
Yeah,
nice to get some appreciation. I still like that. Of course, I'm a human being, but I focus now on the audience. So I think, therapy, coaching, and just reading books and thinking about why we do things. Like, for instance, one thing maybe your listeners can use is if a feeling pops up, maybe a partner says something to you, or you run a workshop, or you have a coaching session and some negative feeling come up. Why? There's a reason behind
mm.
that
Yeah.
feeling. We might
Mhm.
not know why, but I believe every feeling we have is trying to help us. Now, it might not seem like that in the moment,
Mhm.
but it's trying to help us. So, really discovering those feelings is a step one, I think.
Absolutely. It's always we get triggered for a reason. Like it's always
Mm,
saying something. I always call it like it's knocking on your door. It will keep knocking on your door until you address it. You open the door and you address it. You cannot run away from it. So I think that is really important. That you actually take your clients back in time because they need to know the why. Like you said, sometimes it's validation, sometimes it's abandonment issues. Whatever it is, there's a reason they can work through. Yeah, so once they know like their blockages or whatever's holding
mm.
them back, then what is the next step then?
Well, for me, I'm not really a therapist. Of course, some of the things I do is that, but I mainly work on like the goal. So we
Yeah.
focus on what's your goal. That could be
Hmm.
connection with the audience,
Mm-hmm.
having a great structure to your talk.
Mm-hmm.
So we just work on how can you do that. I mean, we
Yeah.
work on a goal. So that could be how to build your story. At the moment, I'm working
Mm-hmm.
with a woman,
Mm-hmm.
so we're trying to
Yeah.
build her story up. And she
Yeah.
has a little bit of a blockage, which is, oh, if I share my story, isn't that a little bit selfish? Isn't that putting all the spotlight on me? So we talked a little bit
Mm.
about that and said, you know what? It's actually not, because you share your story. And then what you do is you flip it to the audience and say, the reason I'm sharing this is because, and then all of a sudden it's not
Mm.
selfish, it's just an example.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So we
Is
work on
sharing is
goals.
caring. Yeah, like I always say, you inspire with your story, just like you shared yours, that when you went on stage, you thought it's because, yeah, you wanted to make a difference,
Mm,
but there was something else going on at the same time that you needed to address, right? Like that's, yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
when we say how do we get there, is focus on the goal, and then we meet
Hmm.
the obstacles on the way, and then we address them along as we go along.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That
that's kind
sounds really good. But are like, yeah, so it's a lot around mindset as I'm hearing
of.
it. Yeah, a lot. And a communication.
Yeah, it's all a mindset. For me, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
sure, there are tools and techniques to be a great
Mm-hmm.
speaker, and many people
Mm-hmm.
teach this, and it is helpful. But at the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day, I mean, if there is a blockage in us,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
we don't do what we need to do. Like a lot of trainers will tell you, oh, you need to do this with your hand or do that. And while that is to some degree helpful, I would rather teach them feel awesome inside. Love your audience, love your content, and your body, your voice will do what it needs to do. And of course, we can help a little bit, get your hands out of your pockets, these sort of basic things. But that's more of my approach.
Mm. But it
Yeah.
sounds really good because I feel like there's a lot of fear involved
Mm,
when people have to go on a stage or just do like small presentations. There's so much fear of judgment.
yeah.
And yeah, and it's like they're so scared, and you can tell they're nervous, they might
Mm,
stutter, and it's like they're not in their, like I say, in their frontal lobes, because it's like the anxiety takes over, the fear takes over, and kind of overshadows the whole brain. And sometimes people just shut down, and even when they are so knowledgeable, it's like it doesn't get through. It's like they have like a like it just shuts
yeah.
down completely because they feel a lot under stress. It's like logical thinking is not present anymore, and they are fully capable, but because they let fear take over, it doesn't seem natural to them to be on this stage presenting this, even when they can. So in those cases when they're so scared, what
Mm,
would you
yeah.
suggest? Practice or?
Yeah, I mean, there are multiple things you can do, as we talked
Hmm.
about, address the deeper lying issues. But of course, when you
Yeah,
go on
of
stage,
course.
it's not the
Yeah.
time to deal with those sort of things.
No.
But that's, yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah.
So on the day, or maybe the days leading up to your talk, there are several things you can do. And I mean, you're more of an expert on this than me. But for instance, breathing techniques, you always have your breath with
100%.
you, right? So if you're stressed, if you're feeling nervous, you have your breathing up here. It's fast, it's shallow. So if you have a more calm breathing and more slow
Yes.
breathing, and hmm, you kind of
Yeah.
get that breath down, you slow it down. I mean,
Yeah.
your whole body will just tell you, I am at ease. I
Yeah.
am feeling good. So breathing is awesome. I mean, that's probably my favorite
100%.
tool. So
Yeah.
what I give my clients is like a warm-up routine, and everybody's different. So you find your own warm-up routine. For me, it's breathing,
Mm-hmm.
listening to music,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and really just, and yeah, using my body. The power pose from Amy Cuddy
Mm-hmm.
talk. So again, you
Mm-hmm.
can use your body. So really focusing more on the body than the mind, because I tend to think the mind is more tricky. And when you want a faster response, you want to go with the body. The mind is great, a little bit off stage, dealing with the slower process. It takes more time. So yeah, those are my tips. Really have a good warm up routine. I also love to
Mm-hmm.
come early if I do a workshop and do a little bit of walking. We burn off cortisol when we walk.
Yeah.
So it's a
100%.
good thing to do, especially if you're nervous in the day before as well, leading up to. Have some
Yeah.
good walks, like half an hour, an hour. You really burn off that cortisol, and so you sleep more and sleep better, which is crucial for
Yeah,
us.
100%. Very good tips. And absolutely. I would say the mind and the body are always working together, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I always say shake it off because it manifests in your body, like the fear.
yeah.
Everything manifests in your body. Everything is there, and then people can really tell. But what I could also suggest to add on is like also just closing your eyes and visualizing that
Mhm,
you got this, like it will go very well, like having that mindset of positivity and not
mhm,
going in the negative thought patterns that I will screw up, that I will choke on this word, or my body posture will be weird. Because when we are on stage, we are very much conscious about
mhm,
how our body is performing, what we are doing. I use my hands a lot, okay?
mhm.
Always. This happens subconsciously.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, just like don't force something which seems unnatural. So also like embracing like who you are, I think that's really important to get to know your body. But also being the state of mind that no matter what, I try my best and that is good enough, you know.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, we can only do as well as we can.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you learn from things, like you will not be the best speaker the first time, obviously not. No. So it takes a lot of mistakes and to screw
Mhm.
up and maybe laugh over your own mistakes and not take everything so seriously.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I mean, if we can
Yeah,
laugh about it, people will also kind of laugh about it. I even sometimes I
exactly.
even tell my clients if they're too good, you know, put in a little mistake. Like I don't do like oh I forgot this phrase. Let me go look at my notes, and then they kind of laugh. I'm not saying put in mistakes on purpose,
No,
but
no, I know what you mean.
people
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
these
yeah.
kind of things, and if you just take it easy, it's all good. If as long as they feel you come prepared and you kind of got this on a general level, few
Yeah.
mistakes, no worries. We're human beings, and if people can't accept that, I think there's something wrong with the audience. Yeah, but I love your point about
Yeah.
visualizing, which is a great tool because we can visualize our body, our mind doing exactly what we want to do. Now,
Yes.
I want to add a little thing to that. I'm totally with you on being positive. One thing that has helped me is, oh, I'm always afraid of that person that's negative or that comes with a hard
Mm,
comment. So I
mm.
visualize, what will I do in those circumstances, because I'm responsible
Okay.
for what I do.
Of
I'm not
course.
100% responsible for what goes on in the audience. So if I
No.
only imagine everybody loves this, I mean, this is what I mainly do, but like, okay,
Mm,
what will I actually do if somebody is being aggressive, negative? How will I handle that?
mm-hmm,
Because
mm-hmm,
it almost never happens, but my body wants to know that answer because I'm
mm-hmm,
afraid of that. So I
mm-hmm.
rehearse it many times, how to play out.
Okay, I like that. Preparing yourself for the worst come outcome is not bad.
No, but of course, staying positive. So how will I handle a negative situation positively? So always with the
Okay, so we
positive.
can reframe it. So that's where
Yeah.
reframing techniques come into mind. So your
Mhm.
mind says, okay, there might be like a negative comment. So the question is, okay, yeah, we cannot control other people's responses, how they act or behave towards us. But knowing that, okay, that comment is coming from somewhere. What does this mean? Does it trigger me? Then you have to look within. Why is it triggering
Yeah.
to you? This person doesn't know you personally. This is based on your speech or whatever you're presenting. Okay, right? So that's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
first thing, acknowledging like, why am I feeling off in my body?
Mhm.
Is it the way it was spoken to me, like the tonation, or was it the question itself? Can I answer it? Like, if I can't, it's also okay to say, actually, I don't know the answer to it, but I would like to, like, um, go deeper and find the answer to it, because we cannot know everything, and that's okay. But what reframing does is that you take something negative and you try to turn it into something positive. So this negative comment might be a stepping stone for you to learn something. You made a mistake or whatever you did that you couldn't answer, or you didn't live up to the expectation, then you can improve it for next time. So it's about shifting the focus of the comment, basically.
Yeah, you're so right. I mean, turning that into a positive, unless you, like you say, there can be so many reasons. It doesn't have to be us.
And it's
Sometimes,
not personal most of the times because the audience doesn't know us on a personal level. Like they would never be able to.
no, and sometimes it's basically just because they wanted to be up on stage,
Yeah,
right? And so
and
like
they are
not
triggered by
necessarily,
you. Yes, and they are
yeah,
triggered by you, and they are working with their own insecurities or
yeah,
their things, and then they're lashing on to you. So that's what I always say, that most negative comments are not really about the person.
yeah. I agree with you because we come prepared, we bring our best, and we try to help
And that
people.
is good enough.
Yeah,
Like, so
more,
not doubting that, but it does get to people a lot when they get negative comments.
yeah,
Like it does affect people's self-confidence, and it might even get them to like be down the whole day, not being able to work or go around their day. It does affect people a lot, especially in these times that we're living in, social media times, when you're
yeah,
very much exposed and
yeah.
everybody can write something da 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 da, like it's so fast and easy.
Yeah, and it is tough. I mean, I've also had negative comments, and I still remember
Same.
them on my post,
Same.
right? But it's just so sad that you maybe get 1,000 lovely comments and you get that one. Why do we remember
And
that
that
one?
ruins your day. Yeah, because the brain always remembers negative situations
Yeah,
more than positive, because we are always, because the brain is always protecting us, so it's always detecting threats, and that's why it just goes into the hippocampus and stays there layered than the
yeah,
positive ones. That's why we have to do extra work consciously to have the positive memories. That's
yeah,
why, like you say, we have to do something actively to get to be in that positive state, because the negative memory, oh, comment will be like layered in our storage as a negative memory, and then when we're going on stage again, we might be triggered by that memory. So we have to do something actively to shift it.
totally. Really agree.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I love to go back and look at my old testimonials. It's like, wow, really?
Yeah.
Somebody liked it that
Evidence.
much, right?
Yes.
And you can do the
Yeah,
same. Think back about all the good times you've helped people. And
exactly.
you know what? Of course, there's going to be someone sometime that's not going to be the biggest fan of yours, and that's totally okay.
And
No
that's
worries.
okay. We cannot be
They can move
everybody's
on.
cup of tea. That's
No,
impossible. Like, no,
no,
and we
no.
should not even
Like,
strive for that.
yeah, like I heard someone, and I love this, which is the first time you get your hater comment on whatever platform you use, open a bottle of champagne, because you know what? You're doing something right. If you're always trying to please everyone, you're
You
not
can't.
going to please everyone. You're not going to help people. So have a
Yeah.
standpoint. I'm
Yeah.
not saying look for division, but have a strong standpoint. You help more people. So open that
Yeah.
bottle of champagne when you get your first hater comment.
I always say when you get a lot of the hate comments, it's because you made it.
Yeah, that's another great
Yeah,
one. Love
yeah,
that
that's
one.
another
You
way of
know?
looking at it. But yeah, we will all like positivity more, but like, yeah, people are struggling, and often it's not about you, it's more about them. And
Yeah.
just know that everybody has their reasons. But sometimes you can take constructive criticism to you and improve yourself as well. And ask yourself, if I'm triggered, why am I triggered by this comment? Does this mean something?
It does. It does mean something. And I mean, the
Yeah,
only one that can really answer is you going
yeah.
deep, and I think thinking about the past, what is it? So I think there can be multiple answers to it. But if we're triggered, there is something we haven't worked through. And I see it as an opportunity to grow. Right.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why I also love this. It's a little bit selfish. Whenever I go on stage or I train other people, and there's something in me that is not 100% positive, I know there's work to do. I might not
Mhm,
know at that moment what the work I need to do is, but I know
mhm.
there's something.
Hmm. Yeah,
Right.
there always is. We can always improve, even when we're the one who's coaching or teaching.
Yeah.
Like we're just as human as them. I always say that. Like we're learning from each other. So when you do the leadership, like you say, yeah, you work a lot around yeah, confidence, body poses, and going back in time to the why. So once they master all of this, are they confident on the stage? Then that's the question.
Well, yeah. Well, I think for me, like the first 10 times you go on stage, I'm like, you have to know if you're on the left leg or the right leg. You're really just trying to figure out the basics.
Mm,
So for
mm,
me, develop a great talk, develop a great workshop, do it 5, 10 times, get some confidence with that,
mhm,
know your material, and then you can work on the smaller things. Because
mhm.
confidence if we look into the brain, it doesn't come overnight. It's like a
Mm-mm.
long process. You actually have to do this several times.
Yeah.
So I would say, don't worry if it's not there the first time. It does take some time. And I've met people who have worked as a speaker for 10, 20 years. They still have things they work on and want to get
Of
better at.
course.
There's still some
Yeah.
challenges with their confidence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it
So
does take some time
practice.
to build the confidence, but it comes over
Yeah.
time.
So it's about practicing and being like exposed in that environment. Yeah.
Totally.
So you
Totally.
cannot do it at home. Let's say I want to go to speak on a stage and then I'm practicing at home where I in my safe spot. That doesn't work,
Mm.
right? You have to be on the stage doing it.
Yeah, the best is to be in the environment and doing
Exactly.
it there. The second best is what you suggested, visualize it, because the brain doesn't
Mm-hmm.
really know the difference.
Nope.
So you just visualize the more you can be on that stage. Again, visualize if there are certain things you are afraid of happening. Visualize how you deal with that, because then your
Mm-hmm.
brain thinks, I've got this. I know how to handle that heckler or whoever it is. So
Yeah.
visualizing is the second best. If you don't have a huge audience to practice on, I mean, invite a friend, so you just have someone that's going to listen,
Yeah.
right? But you also have social media, kind of like we're doing today. Put videos out there. I mean, I remember when I started, it was so
Oh, yeah. I remember
scary
it
to
too.
put a video
Yeah,
out
it
there.
was. Yeah, it
I mean,
was.
how
Yeah.
crazy is that, huh? And
Yeah.
today, it's totally fine. Put a
Yeah,
video.
I remember, and people say, "Oh, you don't never had that issue of being nervous." I was like, "What are you talking about? I was just as nervous as you. I was like
Yeah.
shitting my pants. Like that's normal." And now I just go like this. I can record like 40, like I don't know, 40 reels in 1.5 hours. I'm a natural now. It's like fast for me. But in the beginning, no, it took me 30 minutes to record one. Like that's normal. You have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Um,
And I bet
yeah.
you probably had a ton of excuses like me. Oh, the camera's not right. What about the
Yeah, yeah,
hair or the
yeah. The lighting is
background?
bad, everything.
I
Yeah.
remember the first time I had to shoot videos. You know what I did? I partnered up with one of my friends. So we went to the harbor of Copenhagen. We thought it was a nice venue. And I probably spent 4 or 5 hours there in the freezing cold on a January
Oh
with
my
him.
God.
And there was always something wrong. Oh, somebody passed by. Can't do that video, right? What's wrong
Yeah.
with you? You could have millions of people pass by. So I always found an excuse, never
Mm.
posted one of them. So beginning
Wow.
is hard, keep working at it, it's gonna get there. And everybody
Yeah.
just sees the result. Now you just, oh, you're so natural, you're so good. But you worked at it, right? We
I
don't see
worked at it. It didn't come like I was not born with it. Like it didn't come like that. So it takes time. Everything is practice, everything in life.
practice and mindset.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
totally.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one.
And just pushing through, and that the first video will suck. It will. But then
Yeah,
the second one will be better, and the third one. And sometimes my videos still suck, but I still post them.
yeah.
Because
And I
like
think
I'm not always satisfied, and I'm like, well, I made this. It might inspire someone. I'm still posting it.
yeah, and you can get some help from other people. I remember when I made my first online course, I had a really hard time watching the videos and critiquing them and really deciding whether they were good enough. So I had a
Mm.
friend say, "Can you watch them? If you like them and you think they're good enough, I will keep them." And you know what? He watched them and said, "80% is great. You need to change this and this." Okay, so
Okay, it's
you can
good
get
to
some
have that
help.
feedback. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because it was too hard in the beginning for me to judge. I was too
Yeah,
critical.
we cannot judge ourselves, so we need someone to look at it for sure.
Yeah, so that's a
Yeah,
way to get some help in the
yeah,
beginning,
yeah.
and yeah,
So for someone who wants to be on a stage and have TED Talks or do speeches or so what is the first thing they can do? Can they reach out to you
yeah,
or
yeah. You
on
can reach
LinkedIn?
out to
Yeah,
me.
because
Yeah,
I will drop the links for you so people
sure.
can connect with you. Yeah, yeah,
Reach out
yeah.
to me on LinkedIn. That's probably the easiest way to
Mm-hmm.
do it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
there pretty much every day. Just reach out. So I'd say figure out, why do you want to share that message? Like, why do you have a
Mm-hmm.
burning desire? Don't be like me to get the craving, get the attention. Figure out, why do you want to help some people,
Mm.
right? And then we structure your message, figure out what you really want to say. We build your story. We have your examples. You have your personal stories, and then we build it up, and I help you with all the delivery.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they are kind of like guided by you and they feel safe, like they're not have to do this alone. But for
No.
those who want to do this alone, where
Yeah.
to begin? For those who
Well,
feel like, oh, I am confident,
mhm.
what do they have to do if they want to
So
go and
yeah.
deliver a message to the world?
Well, start, post on social media, get
Yeah.
some attention there. I mean, it's for free. I mean,
Yeah.
what, 10, 20 years ago, people would pay thousands of crowns
To
and
have that
even more
commercial. I know what you
to have a
mean.
commercial, right? So you can practice for free. You can go on a webinar anytime, on StreamYard. I usually go on LinkedIn Live. I try to do it every Monday at 10. And it's just a
Oh,
great
I
way to
didn't know you could do that on LinkedIn. I do it on Instagram. I go on lives.
Yeah, well, maybe you can use it as well. I use StreamYard as well to do that. You have to be approved on LinkedIn. So, but if you're
Oh,
active, you just write it and they'll probably approve you. So,
okay.
but
Cool.
it doesn't matter if it's Instagram or LinkedIn. You people find their own platform that works best for them.
But the
Otherwise,
audience also matters. It's a different audience. So
it's a different audience. But we're starting with starting, and the important
yeah,
thing is getting
100%.
started.
Starting is like go on social media. I agree with you. 100%.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
course, it gets easier if you get your clients that way. If Instagram is more your platform, be on Instagram for
Yeah, yeah,
sure.
yeah.
LinkedIn
Yeah.
is yours, be on LinkedIn. But many people overthink it. Oh, should it be that
Yeah.
one or that one? The important thing is get started, get to know who resonates with your message. Maybe it's the Instagram, maybe it's LinkedIn. I don't know. It's one
Yeah.
way to find out.
But there are people out there, and someone will definitely resonate with your message. Like maybe not all 100 of them, but I would say 30% would. So it's about just trying. Trying matters, and you have to start. And tomorrow's not promised. So people just stay in their heads and don't take action. And it's about taking that action that actually matters. So as someone who's a big action taker and do not make amazing videos, I still post every day.
Well,
So
yeah, and you know what? What I'm inspired by you. I don't post every day, maybe 2 or 3 times a week, but in 5 years, I mean, if you go back and look, you're gonna be like, wow, how much better you are, or maybe even just 6 months, because you get the daily practice. Whereas
yeah.
most other people overthink it. I've been there. Got to read another book. Got to take another course. Got to get some more training, which is all great. But these are side things. Your
Yeah, but
primary
you can
is
still do
action.
those things and still take action. Because I also been working with coaches and therapists, and it doesn't mean I cannot do that. I'm still learning, but I can still put in the action at the same time. It doesn't exclude the one or the other. So I'm
No,
not much in my head. I'm very much on actions. I'm the opposite of that, I think.
yeah,
Fast
which is
action
the way to
taker.
go.
But it's not always beautiful. But for me, it's very important to get my message out daily. And so I'm in a different, yeah, that's my purpose. So
Yeah,
it
yeah.
doesn't always come out beautiful. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And I'm like, oh, but you know what? I also learn from my mistakes.
Of course, we all do. We all do, and we can only learn by putting in the hours, putting in the effort. And people don't tend to see what all the hard work people put in behind the scenes,
Yeah.
right? They just think it's so natural, so easy,
And it's
right?
not like
No, of
at
course
some
not.
point it's easier now,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
easier, but it still requires a lot of my time and effort.
yeah, yeah.
Of course. Yeah, it does. Every day is showing up. So, yeah, I do this,
So
like you said, selfish reasons. Like we do it for us, but at the same time, we do it for them as well. Like,
yeah, the goal is, of course, for the audience, for the people you help. But I would say when you're starting, it's okay to make a selfish video, to put it out there just to get the
100%.
practice. Right. No one, I mean,
You
we
have
all
to.
go somewhere. And I'm
Yeah.
sure the first time you post, maybe you're going to get a like or two, one from your mom, another one from your brother,
Yes.
and maybe some third
I
stranger.
remember sending it to my friends, kind of like forcing them
Yeah.
to like my videos. And now it's like, yeah, so many people that I don't know like my video. And of course, it does boost my self-confidence. But and at the beginning, I used to look at every post, how much it did. But now I don't even look anymore because I'm
Mm.
posting so much. But it's
Yeah.
about getting the message out, engaging with those comments. It's not about the likes. It's about
No,
engaging with the comments. It's about making that change happen. It's not about, oh, the validation I get from, whatever it is, but it's actually about making that change and converting them into clients if you can.
totally.
That's what matters. So it's really not a matter of reach or likes, but if one of them becomes your client, then you did it, you know?
Totally. I mean, you can have a post with 3 likes. If one of them you reach out and say, "Hey, what did you like about my post? Have you engaged?"
Exactly.
That could turn into a client. It doesn't have to be 300. I mean, we all know some posts can generate a ton of likes,
Yeah,
but
but
they don't
doesn't
really
mean
generate
that, yeah,
clients, right?
exactly.
There's a
It
huge
doesn't say
difference.
anything. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
Asger, what would be the last final thoughts before we end the podcast about, yeah, these topics we've been talking about? Any advice you want to give to people who wants to have this, yeah, to build trust and influence other people, and they're a bit in their heads and they're scared? What's the first step they can do to kind of overcome this?
I think it is to find a community where you can
Mm-hmm.
get
Mm-hmm.
help. So that can be through a coach, but could
Yeah.
also be just a networking
Yeah.
place where other people come in similar situations. I personally started in something called Toastmasters, where you can come and deliver a talk for 5 to 7 minutes, which was a huge challenge to me back in the days. So there was some sort of community there. Then when I kind of,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say outgrown it, but I felt, hey, I need to do more. Then you find a new
Mm-hmm.
community. You find new
Yeah.
people to help you.
Yeah.
And having a routine for the practice, put it in your calendar, really, because we're all busy and like, boom, when are you going to practice? When are you going to do the things? Don't leave it to the end of the day when
Yeah.
you might have answered all your emails, because that time will never come, right?
Nope.
So
Yep.
I'd say find people who can help you and put in the time to work on the things you love. Then
Yeah.
you will succeed. It's just a question of time. Is it
Yeah.
three
And be
months?
patient with
I don't know.
yourself. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
not going to come overnight. Like Rome was not built
no,
overnight. That's what I always say. People are so impatient today because we live in a dopamine society with
yeah,
likes and this and that. It's like the fast dopamine kick we get out of things. But this is more like a delayed gratification. You will get there, but you have to
yeah,
enjoy the process and being
of course.
patient with yourself, being kind to yourself. Even if you suck in the beginning, it's not permanent, it's not your reality forever. It's going to
No.
change. You're changing every day, right?
And sometimes I would say it's even an advantage to suck in the beginning, because take me, like I sucked when I started, but I learned how to get good. If you
See?
just meet somebody, hey, I was good from the beginning, how are you going to help other people? Like, are
Yeah,
you right? So even sometimes it's an advantage to have had some challenges in the field you want to help other people with.
absolutely. Thank you for the last
Reframing it, like
advice.
you say, right?
Sorry?
I say reframing it, like you mentioned earlier.
Reframing
Yeah,
techniques, and every time you're exposed to the same thing, the environment, your brain feels more safe. I just want to add that on. Like you said, environment matters, community matters,
right.
because then your brain feels safe. It feels supported, and you need that guidance, especially when the brain detects a threat. The new
Yeah,
environment is a new threat. Starting
yeah,
a new job is why is it so difficult? Because it's something new. Your brain is saying, oh, you might suck at this because you're not as experienced as your colleague. Of course you're not. You're just starting at this. No
yeah,
one
yeah.
was born like doing excellence. Like no one. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, spot on. You got it.
yeah. So if people want to connect with you, Asker, LinkedIn is the platform. I will drop your
Yeah,
link into the podcast so they can come in contact with you.
yeah. And they can also reach out in the company I'm part of. It's called MB and Partners. So I'll
Okay.
just send you the email
Yeah.
or just a link for the
Yeah, you can
website.
do that, and then
Reach
we'll
out
put
to
it
me
so people can
personally.
connect with you. Yeah.
Yeah, so they can check it out there. But if they want to interact with me, get to know me, LinkedIn is the best. Or
Yeah.
otherwise, they can read more about all services we do. We do much more than just communication training. Yeah.
That's amazing. It was absolutely lovely to have you on. And I think many of the listeners will benefit from this because many people do lack self confidence. They don't have to be like public speakers or whatever, but just that they don't always feel like they're good enough in what they're doing. And I think it's really important to know that that thought is very normal, but there are some techniques you can do to feel better and that you're not alone. Reach out to a community to get supported and to get that support and feel like you can change that reality of yours because nothing is permanent. Thank you, Asger, again. And yeah, this will be out on Apple and Spotify and on my YouTube channel, and his links will be dropped as well. So thank you again.
Thank you very much, Farah. It was a real pleasure.
Honor. Bye.
Bye.